Side, nigga, we just doing this shit. Yeah, too much cap on my timeline. Y'all boys ain't owning y'all shit. No, keep on calling me prime time. I'm a D Sanders, this bitch. Woo. I've been thinking about it for a long time. Road to riches be a long drive. Long way from where I used to stay, and I would sleep on my niece twin size. Back when I set the bar too high, had to get everything straight. Reach for the stars.
It's Simple Mindset Podcast. I got B today. I'm your host, Lou, and today we're going to talk about why black people do not talk to, well, we don't go to doctors, period. Why we don't make those visits.
Doctor, dentist, just walking around with fucked up teeth.
It is what it is.
Yeah, man.
So what's your outlook on it?
I think a lot of it has to do with, one, I think financial reasons. I think that's the biggest one, finance. Because whether it's insurance or just paying outright.
Yeah, out of pocket.
Yeah, like folks just, unless there's a free clinic, that's the closest thing that people will do. And everybody know the free clinic, that line is
crazy,
ridiculous. So it gets to the point where people just don't even worry about it. Like,
yeah.
And I think another thing too is that if as messed up as it sounds, is I think faith plays a big factor.
Faith.
Like put it in God's hands, and if it's, I think that plays a factor too. Thinking. And then just blatantly just ignore it. Like they feel like if they ignore it, it'll go away. Like, and that's been the biggest issue when it comes to us. And like I've witnessed plenty of my aunts and stuff like that, and uncles and cousins and friends of other family that basically you can look and tell they ain't doing well, but you be like, hey man, you went to the doctor, said, oh no, I don't need something. What's the stigma always when something don't feel? Well, your stomach hurt, your head hurt. It always two things: get some ginger ale or go lay down.
Or drink some water.
Yeah, man. I know how many times, man, you hear those type of things, and same way with the dentist, man. You know how many of your family members got gold teeth?
What you mean? Because they don't brush right? Or
they got those, yeah.
Oh,
because you think, it look cool because you think that, they got this gold in my, but they only did it because it looked cool because it's really a false tooth. And it wasn't no false tooth because,
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but let's touch into that whole finance thing. Yeah, a lot of us work these jobs where we don't have benefits. So healthcare, that's not even an option. Mm-hmm. And, depending on your state, you have this age for your children as long as they're in school. Some states 16, some 18, 21, 22, whatever. As long as they're in school, they insured, by the state or whatever. But even those things, they don't, like for females, like you have a female daughter, depending on where she at, that free insurance may not cover like pap smears or certain things for a woman health that they need to get checked out on. So then you have to outsource it. If you don't got out-of-pocket expenses, out-of-pocket money, then those expenses just not, you know what I'm saying? So finances is a huge thing, and I feel like a lot of people, it's not just like a racist thing, but when it's more of a disparity because of the finance. Like we at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to like economics and stuff like that. So racism is not solely just because of the color of our skin, but also economically. And we don't have, money is power, especially in the United States. So if you don't have that money, you have no power. So speaking on finances, yes, especially like going to the dentist, that's expensive.
Man, that, I will say, that's probably one of the biggest things that I never thought was major until I joined the Navy, seeing how major dental really is. Like when I took the kids, to get their dental, exams, and had to, had to do like dental work.
Yeah.
And, we had the insurance, but like looking at the bill,
crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like and now I understand why, a lot of us, why, it's messed up. Like, teeth ain't being taken care of, and because it's so much money just for like little basic stuff, like something. And they look at it like if a tooth needs to be removed or tooth, they rather just knock the tooth out themselves, try to do that, knowing and it's actually really dangerous to do that. There's actually a way to take your tooth out, but it's because it costs so much just for something like that to take out one tooth.
A consultation will run you like $100 just for me to talk to you for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So dental work is expensive. A cleaning, a basic cleaning, let alone, and then like even for us, like teeth whitening, that's not covered. Out of pocket, that's like $7, $8, even a rack to get your teeth whitening. Like stuff like that, and that stuff is expensive, but you need it because oftentimes, especially like with cavities and stuff, that's a lot of, especially us being parents, we feed our children a lot of sweets, a lot of candy, and they get a lot of cavities. And like when we take them to go get dental work, caps, like it'd be so bad or be so rotten that they would have to pull it all out and put caps. And it's crazy because you have to, some procedures is necessary, even though it's expensive, because you can die from a tooth infection.
And that was one of the things that I was like I said, I never had any cavities before. I never, with having the lack of going to the dentist and stuff like that. I've gone a few times as a kid, but like, knock on wood, I've never had any cavities. But I didn't know the seriousness of like, when they say, if you, that you actually can legit mess up your body by not having good teeth. And honestly, I did not know that until I became an adult, and like you think about stuff like that. And there's a lot of people to this day that don't know that, especially us of color. Like, we don't know that. We don't take the time for it, and
really don't care half the time. But so even when you speak about that, one of the main things that your alignment, your jawline, your cheekbones, a lot of that stuff plays a part. Even migraines, that stuff causes migraines, and it's like, damn. But it's like, again, we don't trust the doctor.
And then we think because our threshold of pain is so strong, our tolerance is so strong that we'll be all right.
This too shall pass.
We
spoke about that faith thing.
And it's crazy because I've literally seen family members or friends of of the family who you can see like something's wrong, and it don't be, and then they wait until it's too late. You know what I'm saying? They wait till it's too late because whatever the reason, and I think that's the thing too. What they don't understand, as messed up as it sounds, I'm not condoning this. I'm not saying you do, but that bill is on your name, and if and God, if once you leave this earth, I know people think about, I don't want to leave this money, I don't want to leave this debt to my family, whatever. And it's like, man, look, if there's a possibility that this can save your life, you need to do it. And the biggest thing, like with finance, people are willing to. They looking at the short term and not the long term. Meaning they'll opt out the insurance to try to save that little bit of money. Like not thinking about like you or if you got a family. Like, because all you looking at is that they taking out $80, $100, $150, where you looking at like, man, that could be towards my bills or money in my pocket, and not thinking like, yo, you never know when you're gonna need this. Because at the end of the day, like, looking at the prices, man, I don't want to go into, because every state and every city is different. But like, if you got kids that play sports, you definitely need to have insurance. Like for me, I'm in military, but like if I wasn't, and all three of my kids play sports, I gotta have medical insurance. Because because that's the thing, the price of an ambulance going to and from the hospital, that's a lot of money. And so I don't think people understand how important, like, if your kids play sports, you got to have medical insurance. You got to, man, because I'm not saying that something's gonna happen to your kid, but if something do happen, you don't want to be
that safety net.
Yes, and that time you're thinking like, oh my, I'm gonna do whatever for my kid, but you gonna have this big old hospital bill when all you had to do was pay that $150.
Yeah, for some insurance.
For insurance.
No, I agree. And speaking about the whole faith thing, and it's kind of different because, like, for me, like my family, they always been like holistic on remedies and stuff, but they also been very religious and very Christian, like they're Christians or whatever like that. And I went away from that like at a very young age because it's just things personally I didn't agree with, but and that just wasn't my path. But still, even with them, like sometimes you'll be sick and they're like, oh, it's just God's way of telling you to take this serious, and everything is a sign from God or whatever like that. And it's like, a common cold. You tell me, like
it's crazy, and the fact that you say that, right? So it's like right now with COVID.
Yes,
there's many people that are faith that didn't take it serious until they church decided like, oh, we're not going to have service, because then all of a sudden some people started taking it serious because the pastor said it. But it was like cousin JoJo just said that 3 days ago. He's just said that like, hey man, we need to take this serious. But then people still like, but when church said it, hey, we're gonna cancel it. Oh man, church cancel it. It gotta be.
It gotta be real.
So that's.
I feel like we so caught into. We so dependent when it comes to people with faith, like, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your foundation at the end of the day,
Yeah, of course.
But you have to be present. You have to have a mind of your own. I think people are so dependent on their religion, whatever, like that it blinds them from reality sometimes.
Yeah.
And like you can't ignore stuff like that. Like you can't say everything is a sign from God, everything is fine. Because if you believe in the higher power and it's nothing but good, because granted you need some bad, because life has to be balanced. You need the good, you need the bad.
Humble.
Right. But you can't it doesn't work like that. You can't just be like, oh, this is a good person, I'm valuing a higher power, but all these bad things, this is just a sign. No, it's COVID out. And it's important. I mean, CDC, the world is saying it. Yeah. You need to take that serious.
Yeah. But I also think too, I know for us it don't touch us, but it can also be the stigma of back in the day, back when you had the Tuskegee project. You have things where we would test rabbits. We go to the doctor. The doctors would basically do stuff to us, and so it made a lot of that next generation of those people made that next generation paranoid.
Yeah, but even before the Tuskegee research or study, before, Black people have never really trust hospitals, dentists, none of those things because of everything. Because
that's what killed MLK. It wasn't the shot. It was the fact the hospital didn't do their job.
But it's a lot of times where we see Black people that could have survived, and because of they took too long or blah 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 this and that. Even recently with oh my God, what is his name? Oh my God.
Oh, King.
No, not King Von. The boy who was walking home with the bag, and the police. Oh my God, this just happened. What is his name? The police pulled him over and they harassing him. They ended up killing him. The ambulance came and gave him that shot.
Oh, you're talking about Elijah McClain.
Yes.
That was
crazy.
That was the straw that broke my back. I have yet to see anything like that since that video, because I can relate because of my son, my baby boy. That's exactly how my baby boy is. And so that scared the living hell out of me. And it's really one of those situations as a parent that I'm like, am I really preparing my kid for because like I can admit, like my son, he like the way he views the police ain't the way, like I haven't showed him any of that. He's too young.
Right.
And that's one of the things that scares the life out of me, because he doesn't look down on the police. Like he's not there yet to, he's still young
to make judgment.
Yeah, and so for me, I'm just like, I couldn't even imagine like what it would do to him if that was to ever, not just the Deborah McClain, but like if the police was to come at him like that. I think that would like really like break him, because he look at them as what they supposed to be. Yeah. And but yeah, that was a terrible situation.
It's so many of us that's done. It's so crazy. But that one particularly, it was just like
that they never should have did that.
He told him, "Hey, I'm just coming home." You know what I'm saying? You could tell it's nothing about him that's violent.
You know what? The reason why it hurts so much is because now we're wearing masks.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why he got was because they say he looked suspicious because he had a mask on. He had a ski mask on. And
even
look
though it was
now,
cold as hell is outside.
But look now, we're walking with masks on.
Right.
People walking with masks, wearing the same type of stuff that a robber would wear. So you don't know. It's crazy. So it's like he was a year or two. Like if this was now, he would never been bothered.
No, but even to shoot somebody with some type of medicine, you don't know their background, you don't know what they're allergic to, none of those things, because he's acting a certain way.
Yeah. I'll take you one, you from Chicago. Some people might not know, but I'm a hooper, so I know Benji.
Oh yeah, Benji. Oh
yeah, like that's
he
that's the reason he died. People think he died because of the shot, but it wasn't. It was because of the lack of medical attention. Yeah. That's why he died.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's things like that are why people like, man, I don't trust going to them doctors. I don't trust going up there.
But even outside of that, so like we talk about we're gonna get back to the Tuskegee, but back in slavery and whatever like that, it's this thing that was called the antebellum. And basically what they would do is dig up, deceased black people and use them as studies. Or even the black people that were alive, they would just use them as studies. You know what I'm saying? So that's it started way before the Tuskegee. That was just what I think that with the Tuskegee, it was just like the breaking point because it was so long and it actually came out. That was like the first time it started being televised and being really known nationally. But this always been happening. Even just to dig up black people and to study on them and their deceased. First of all, being in slavery was fucked up. Nothing will ever change that. But for these people, for our ancestors, like for these black people to be buried, to be stripped of their customs and all these things, and for their bodies to actually be laid at rest, and you go bother the dead to do a study on them, to use them as test dummies, to use them as rats, to test all these things, that it right there is just like, that's crazy as fuck. And that's what it's just like that started. And then they had the runaway slave syndrome, where if you was a runaway slave, your punishment they treated that as a disease. Mm-hmm. And so when you was caught basically, what they would do is they would cut off limbs and stuff like that, and it's not as a punishment, but they felt like that was a treatment to the disease, because it would prevent you psychologically from running again. Especially if they take off a leg or something, how would you escape? If they take off an arm or whatever like that, And grief is not just death. It's not just a loss of relationship, loss of friendship. Grief is a loss of anything. Mm-hmm. So at that point in time, to lose a limb, you know what I'm saying? To already lose who you are, to be stripped of everything that you know of, and to lose a limb and be back from the place that you ran from, that right there, a whole nother psychological trauma right there. So, and then you have the Tuskegee, that they tested us, and not only did they just test us, but they prevented us. They stopped us from getting treatment. Hey, because it's a documentary and it's many books, and they tell you like, there's hey, I'm getting sick and blah 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 this and that. They want you to come in. They had them coming in weekly, noting down like their symptoms and all these different things and different stages and what happened if it goes untreated and all these different things. And this happened for 40 years, from 1932 to 1972. This happened for 40 years of so many black people in Macon County, Alabama. And the only black people that really was getting treated, who was injected with this disease, was the ones that was drafted and a part of the military. because they had to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And they even had lists of names of the people that they injected. Oh, you here? Oh, we can't treat you. Oh, it's according to the government, they couldn't be treated. And nowadays, we see it now, like the organ donor situation. And then women fertility, black women are at a very, very higher rate than any other ethnic group when birthing a child. We're dying. If we're not dying, our child dying. If our child dying, we're both dying. And you want us to continue. You want us to trust you. Of all these things that you put in front of us, you want us to trust
you.
Yeah. Why? That's like insanity. Like at that point. So I think it's a lot of things that go into why black people do not go to doctors. Outside of finances, outside of faith, outside of just not knowing or not taking it serious. It's also a history, and I feel like to correct that, I feel like that's something that will never be corrected. It's just a permanent scar, and to change that, we have to put ourselves in healthcare positions to be. Mm-hmm. We have to have more black dentists, more black doctors, nurses, even doulas,
hygienists,
all that. All types of doctors specialize in everything because even for me, I am preparing to have a baby and I'm going to have one. And my biggest thing, like right now, my doctor, she's, especially being in the military, she's a civilian, but she works on the military side. Yes, she's a white woman, but I had this conversation with her. I'm sorry, but I can't put my trust in you like that. Like, I respect you professionally and everything, but I would feel more comfortable, more safe if I had a black doctor or a doula present throughout my pregnancy, and she respect that, she understand that, and she even helped me find one, and I respect that, and that's one of the major things, like, to have your support, like, if I was to have my spouse or whatever, if I had a spouse and I had them there with me to be present while I'm having a baby, that's one thing, but they don't have the expertise as somebody to deliver this baby as a doula or a nurse or a doctor. So that is definitely something for us to do as far as like black, continue doing it, because we do have black doctors and nurses.
And it's not always medical, psychological.
Oh, definitely.
Like seeing a psychologist, seeing a therapist. Yes. That's big. That's part of medical. That's part of the seeing a doctor. Topic. We always think that not going to if we're going to therapy or we have to be ashamed of it.
Oh, it's crazy. Why you telling them people they ain't listening to you?
Yeah, nah, I don't need to go. I don't need to talk to them, and like, go. Sometimes mental health is a part.
Mental health is huge, and I am going to normalize the fuck out of this conversation.
It needs to be because, yes, you see the saying where if you go, you're gonna be like, I feel depressed, and they be like, well, depressed is these dishes, like, it's
they do,
and they do. You think about it, you laugh or whatever, you laugh about it, but you think about like. Yes, there are some situations where you have some people who say that they having a mental lapse or whatever, and a lot of it could just be, nothing major. But there are some who really do, but afraid to, because we always put faith, and we blow it off, because like you said, like we always think you're weak or it's messed up. That's what white people do.
Yeah, you need to stop doing that.
And that's not okay. Like, it shouldn't be wrong with you to go and talk to somebody.
Yeah, because black people got a lot of psychological issues. So I think he's saying like, that's a white person thing, this and that. Like, to go talk to somebody? No, I feel like as a parent or someone who is somebody who's seeking guidance, you need to stop blowing them off. Because that's why they feel like they can't talk to nobody, because they can't talk to you. And then you belittle them into going to seeking outside help. Now they just sitting here bottled up, and then Lord forbid they get into a dark spot and they become suicidal then. What?
Yeah, and that gets ignored a lot too. When somebody commits suicide, we're so good at from the jump, like we'll judge them.
No, we will.
We call them weak. We'll say like just shock, and then you ignore all the signs that they've done, and that's very, people think that that's not a stigma. It is. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of black people. A lot of people of color that commit suicide, and it's not. And the thing about it is, it's sad as it say, there's some who do it. You know, that'll do it in a way where it looks like it's not suicidal.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's a suicide, like they'll make it like if it was it's messed up like a car wreck or an accident when it really was like they wanted to do it. They just didn't want to do it. They didn't want to just completely off themselves to make it look like they did it.
Yeah.
Because and that's the crazy thing to think, that even when you're in your darkest moment and you ready to just end it all, you still worrying about being judged.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, crazy.
It's a crazy thing.
It's crazy to think that some people, you still thinking about that even when you're in your darkest moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
All because when you tell somebody, you're gonna tell them like, hey man, I'm feeling depressed, like I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling like that, and what they always say, boy, get out of my face, or man, come on, let's pray,
or you just want attention.
Yeah, like you just want attention, and it's really like,
it's not even me wanting attention. Well, if it was me wanting attention, damn, you gonna give it to me? I'm trying to talk to you.
Yeah.
But
something that simple.
Yeah, and it's, again,
you can't even tell them, you couldn't even tell them that you were talking to somebody, because as soon as you tell them that, they treat you different, they look at you different.
Oh yeah.
They make jokes about it, like, is that what your therapist said? Is that what your psychologist said? Is that what your cuckoo doctor said? Like,
make jokes, feel like you want attention, or just bring it up, or dog you for it, or belittle you for it at your darkest moments. And that's like the worst thing. If you can't be there for somebody in their bad and all their seasons, including their worst season, then you don't need to be there when they up. And that's just some real shit right there. But again, and that's another thing when it comes to black people not going to doctors, because the negative energy for the ones that are good, like it's more like counselors and therapists out there that are better than the doctors that we see. You know what I'm saying? Because for them, their job is to listen. You know what I'm saying? That's their job. And a lot of times, that's like, you have to be non-biased. And they have so many bars and all this different type of credentials and stuff where you are often can find a good therapist compared to a good doctor. Because doctors, for one, they are driven by profits. You know what I'm saying? They got to sell this medicine, they got to do this surgery, they got to do this procedure.
And you look at it like you'll have a guy, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and they go and they get on, like being on a TV show. Yeah. When you was with them, they was only charging you, $50-$60 an hour. Yeah. And then if they somehow get on a TV show and become a regular, now all of a sudden it's like $300 to maybe $1,000 to just, and you was like, yo, I've been going to you before you even.
Yeah.
And that's when, sometimes it's messed up to say, it's actually better to go to an up and coming, or go to some of the free ones, because at least like if there's no they probably getting paid government wise or whatever, but at least like they're doing it for the right reasons. Yeah. And it's not to do it for that's like me, like me, I love coaching. Would it be nice to do it professionally? Yeah, to get paid, but like honestly, I love doing it at the youth level because I know that I'm doing it because I love it. Yeah, your passion. And not because the money. I'm getting paid this amount of money, I'm gonna take this one because
Yeah. And a lot of times, even doctors is not empathetic. You know what I'm saying? Because I have had some bad experience with a few doctors. Never really had a bad experience with a psychiatrist or a therapist, but they're not empathetic, you know what I'm saying? Especially like they have this stigma, you know, especially with black women. Oh, y'all got a lot of babies, or blah blah. Oh, you've been through all this stuff. This is nothing, you know, stuff like that. And it's like, damn, like you don't even know my story could be totally. I'm pretty sure my story is totally different than your last patient that was black. You know what I'm saying? So even then, it's like when you go see a doctor. Granted, you see a nurse first. You'll have a deeper, more intellectual conversation with her than your doctor. Your doctor look at your script. Oh, okay, boom, boom, came here. All right, bet. What's going on? And they are the
and then that's the thing too. If you go to the doctor and then with us, you have one bad experience, you're done.
Oh yeah, we done.
You're done.
We done.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it's something simple like
he was rude.
He was rude. If you said you had a cut on your finger, but he looked at your foot and you like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like you done. And not all doctors are the same, you know.
Yeah.
Like, or if you have experience where a previous family member had a bad experience,
oh, you ain't
you like, oh no, I ain't.
That's why I'm going to doctor.
That's why I'm going to. Exactly. Be like, no, that's where the doctor. Like, it's the only doctor's office we have. Oh no, I ain't going there. You remember last time when Samantha went and she did this and that, and it's like, and so it's. There are so many layers. I know money is the top one.
Yeah.
And I still think that that is one of the, you know, and also like medicine. Medicine is very expensive.
Medicine is expensive.
And so I think that's another reason why they look at it like, well, I'm gonna go to the doctor when they can prescribe me something that I can't afford.
But this is something black people need to do. Even if you go to the doctor, this is what I do. And I recommend this to anybody. If you're not an expertise, stop Googling shit. We do the new age, something wrong, oh, I got a bite on my leg. We look, that motherfucker say a whole damn tumor. And we just running with it off Google. We need to stop doing that. But when you go to the doctor, you know, ask, first of all, go in there with a questionnaire. Ask all the questions. If something's wrong, you don't feel like that, you know, ask all those questions. Why is this happening? Is it elevating hormones? Is elevating blood pressure? What is it elevating? Why? Blah, blah, this and that. Make them look deeper into it. You know what I'm saying? Don't accept the bare minimum from them. Mm-hmm. You know, because if
you got to voice what's going on with you, because it's your body at the end of the day.
Your body.
And I do understand, you know, because like for me, like I had high blood pressure, and the whole thing I'm thinking, like, man, I gotta stop what I'm eating. I gotta change what I eat, and this and that. Come to find out, it was just I was under a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Because I was getting ready to leave. And I was having a lot of work going on. Was undermanned. We had inspection and all this, and then I go and get my blood pressure checked. Once all that was over, and I was selling my house, and so I finally get my blood pressure checked again, like a month later, and it's back to normal.
Yeah.
And I done did all this stuff because, like you said, I'm not gonna lie. I went, they told me this, and I panicked. I Googled and thinking like, what other stuff, and I'm doing all this stuff thinking, and it was because I really was, because they came back and checked and was like, hey, it's actually better than, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, because I was working out this and that, and it really was, is because just like, well, what you doing? And I told like I just sold my house. Inspection is over. Inspection is over. All this and that, and it was like you probably just doctor was like you was just stressed.
Yeah.
He's like, cause you trying to do all this stuff all at once in a short span. He was like, so, and sure enough, I came back the following week, didn't change. I went back to doing the normal things that I normally do, the way I ate and everything, and blood pressure was good.
Yeah, and that's why I said with the whole Google thing, because I had a situation with something on my brain. Something was wrong with my brain. I was like, for me, I have migraines, so I'm like, hold on, something wrong with my brain. And then COVID hit, so I couldn't do no tests, no nothing. That went months. And then talking to the doctors at the time of when they told me some stuff, and then I started Googling and everything like that. I'm thinking I'm finna to die. Like, and then it's crazy because my body was making these changes already. So then I'm still Googling. And then this is why I say, like, for us, instead of depending, because they prescribe some medicine, the medicine they prescribe, I looked it up and I was like, this can't be it. Hell no, I'm too young to have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell no. Me, I'm not the healthiest person, but I'm damn sure healthy. So what I end up doing is I hit up my auntie. She's very holistic. Auntie, doctor say this, woo woo. And we did our research together. She like, hey, change your diet, eat this, drink this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And I was at a very bad space where, I'm not gonna lie, I wrote my own obituary. I wrote my own goodbye letters to my family. Like, it was bad. And I'm just like, how the fuck? And then I started changing my diet and all this stuff. A few days before I came out here, they like, oh, we came across your thing. And then it's like, yeah, COVID happened, but you like a serious case. We need you to come in. I'm like, well, I come in as soon as possible. They like, tomorrow, boom, went out, came out here, got that call. They like, well, we don't know what you did from everything, from all your last exams to this exam. Totally complete person. Like, and I told him, like, look, I did this with my diet. I started juicing like every 3 days. Like, papaya and beets are like the GOAT. Like, it was just certain stuff, and then liquid chlorophyll and elderberry and sea moss, and I was just doing all this natural stuff, and and then that was another main thing. I was trying not to stress, trying not to like trip out. It's so hard, but I'm telling him like, yo, I'm doing this and doing that, and he was like, what about the medicine? I was like, honestly, I ain't taking not one pill of that. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah. And I told him straight up, like, medicine, you know, it's no different than a drug. You know what I'm saying? It's to treat this, but it's gonna fuck this up. Well, I'm treating one thing, but now I gotta fuck up like limb. You know, a bad liver. No.
And I think that's the thing too. What I will give credit is that we are. So they're making the changes now with with marijuana.
Late but appreciated.
I think. I know it's kind of off the medical, you know, subject or whatever, like, you know, black. But I will say this. One thing I've learned as I got older is that everything that ties to us is what make the stigma higher. Like, marijuana been around forever.
Ages.
Forever. And it wasn't until we were the drug dealers. It's kind of like pit bulls. Pit bulls been around.
They are the black people dogs.
But this is the thing though. People forget the Little Rascals. The original Petey. Was a pit bull.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that. Put me on.
He was a pit bull, and guess what? Pit bulls wasn't looked at that way. It wasn't until they was on rap album covers and magazine covers and then all of a sudden
they're aggressive.
They're dangerous. And then when the Michael Vick situation happened, then they became victims. So you get what I'm saying? It was always when it was tied to us.
As always.
To when, you know, there was just similar pit bulls.
As always.
It's the same way with marijuana. Like, because now all of a sudden, everybody's now seeing like all of a sudden it's not bad.
How many ages, how many centuries is gonna tell you for you to see that? Nobody died from weed. Everybody died. There's a lot of people died from crack.
If they did, it was because of other reasons. Well, not even then. Like, it never was of using.
Yeah.
Like,
facts.
You know, like it never was for using.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Nobody ever overdosed.
No, it's not one
of
case
natural
of overdosing
marijuana. Like,
but even with that, I feel like smoke the stuff you grow. Like, I will never.
And you don't even always have to smoke it.
No, I get that. But me personally, if I was ever, if I'm blessed, get out the military successfully, and everything is good, and I'm able to smoke weed, I am going to do that. But because it's just like a stress reliever with what I got going on.
I've seen so many different people that I never thought would even do because of the stigma of what it was. And then you got the oils, you got the they make treats and stuff like that, and it's a big difference. Like I was watching an interview, All the Smoke podcast with Al Harrington, and he said that his mom used the oil. She had very bad. Her vision is really, really bad, and said that she, used the oil, and said he came in the room and she was crying, and she said this is the first time in years that she was able to sit down and read her Bible.
Damn.
Because of her, and then because she thought that stigma, but it was like, where in the Bible because that they use religion, they use this, they use that. Yeah. Where in the religion does it say anything about it?
Well, we just are.
Because they look at it says, mutilation to your body by
But the poppy every day, the polluted air.
And this is the thing, like you notice now, anytime there's something that the government can benefit from.
Oh yeah.
They like now you got now remember you used to see all the tobacco commercials like say no smoking, all that stuff. Now look at what it's going to now. The e-cigarettes. Now all of a sudden, when e-cigarettes came out, that's what people was doing because that way they're not smoking cigarettes. Yeah. But the thing about those is that they last longer. Yeah. They last longer. You could, tobacco products are the government's biggest money makers. And so
you gonna throw a pack a day.
Yeah, and that's why, because you going buying a pack, buying a carton, buying a pack. And where with the vape, you can get that vape juice, you can get 2 vape juice, and that lasts you for months.
And different flavors.
Yeah. And so now people are like, oh no, it's bad, we can't use it. No, it's because, let's be honest.
It's the money. Taking money out your pocket.
So it's the same, like, anything that can't benefit the government, it gets attacked.
Oh yeah, definitely. But we would definitely see a rise because, like, black people they're never gonna go to doctors for real. You know what I'm saying? Until they start seeing more of us. It's about like a safety thing. It's comfortable, like being. It has to
be just like how we go and promote clothes, cars, shoes. We have to start going to the doctor, going to see a therapist and stuff. We gotta going to the dentist. We gotta make that popular.
Yeah, but we also have to do our research. You can't just go to any doctor. There's nothing wrong with going on the internet and checking their ratings. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with calling the doctor office.
And then, but the other thing too, and I think that's the other thing too. I'll go with the insurance. Sometimes some people don't like it because some insurance companies, some jobs have, yes, they got insurance, but sometimes most companies, what they do, they buy the cheapest and whatever's the easiest available, and it don't always be the best. So I can't understand that situation. But at the same time, if you know that you can't afford it at that moment,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
You have to do what you gotta do.
No, I agree with that. Another thing, black people, stop being organ donors. Stop being organ donors. I feel like it should be a thing where you don't have to put that on your license, but if like not saying not to donate your organs, you know what I'm saying? Because you may be somebody who needs it. You know what I'm saying? Not saying to stop donating, but stop putting that on your license. Because a lot of times I have witnessed this several times, and there's stories about once you're an organ donor, ambulance people see you, they will not help you. They will never admit that they are not helping you because of that, but they will not.
If they know you got like a 10%, and that's the thing people understand when stuff is put on TV. Like I know it's messed up, but like Law and Order, a lot of stuff that they hit is very accurate. And that was one of the episodes where they said the little girl died. Yeah. And they said that she had no chance, but what it was that as soon as they was able to take away, what they were trying to do.
She didn't even die in 10 minutes. Hey, can you sign this paper to donate her own organs? We need it right now.
So that they can take it to go, and I understand, but at the same time, it's like you wasn't even going to try.
Yeah, you're not going to even try. And I feel like as black people, we need to, it should be a piece of paper.
But in some states, man, like a lot of us do it because it'll cheapen the price.
Which I heard about that, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
In Illinois, they don't give a damn organ donor or not. You still gonna pay this $30.
Yeah.
Need all.
Because if you look on the Georgia website, it shows like there's like a fee for like if you decide to be or not be an organ donor. They ask you. Because my thing is, would a lot of people say yeah if they tell you there's no? Because why are you doing it? Because if you want to give it to your family member, you just say you want to give it to your family member. You
Yeah.
can write it in a will.
Yeah.
You can write, you know what I'm saying?
Or even at the doctor, when you say, you want to do a DNR, do not resuscitate. Hey, if I die, this is what I want to happen with my organs.
Yeah. And you can easily, like, write a will. You can do it now. I can do it now and be like, if I pass away, I want to give my organ to the children of kidney, I want to give my organs to, this organization. This organization. You don't want to just be organ, because then they can give it to whoever they want.
And they can take whatever they want.
Whatever they want.
And it's so crazy, because how many times have we seen just like that black boy in Georgia, I believe. He was killed. He was a teenager, 15 years old. And I did so many studies, I cannot remember everybody's name. Excuse me for this. But he was 15 years old. They found him rolled up in a mat.
Oh, yeah.
And then they found his body.
That was in Valdosta. That was Lawrence County. That's not too far from my hometown.
Yeah, and then when they did the autopsy, he had no organs. Now, how the fuck did that happen? But we see that so many times. Oh, this person missing this, and this person missing that. And organ donor, donate organs is like a legal. It's like goddamn prostitution. We see it so many times. Black people coming missing, kids, adults, old people, whatever, coming missing, and then they end up finding them, and they have no organs. And these people are paying millions, hundreds of thousands for a black person organs. And this is why I say black people do not need to have that on their license. They do not, because they're gonna let us die. You know what I'm saying? It should be an option where when we die, our families take over. Hey, I want so and so to donate. I want that, because they want that. It shouldn't be like, oh, they're gonna die because they put that on their ID and you just choose not to save their life when they could still be here, but you want to do other shit. That's fucked up. And it's already 13% of us. We need to be trying to live as much as we can, as much as possible.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that just gotta stop. Like, it's just too much.
It's so many different things. Like, and I would say there's definitely some good reasons behind it. But there's also a lot of bad.
It's too much bad.
It really is. Like there are some situations like we just spoke and things of that matter. But it's just stubbornness. Like the top is stubbornness. It's money, stubbornness. I have to put stubbornness below money. Even though we say like we don't want. We wait, and a lot of time we wait until it's too late.
Yeah.
When some of it could have been prevented. Granted, there's other things we could change, the way we eat and stuff like that. But there's some things that can be changed. If you just go. Yeah. And like I said, I know money's the issue. You have a bill, you worried about a bill and all that stuff.
But I think it's our pride too.
Yeah, and I think that's when you need whenever you get some extra money, that's what you should, use the money for. If you know that you've been having a toothache for forever, you keep trying to use,
what's that?
Orgel and stuff like that. You keep trying to do
put the
that.
whiskey honey proof on the cotton ball, soak it and put it out. Now look, some of these remedies that we came up with, they still work now.
Yeah.
Cause I had that toothache, that honey proof whiskey. Was I tipsy? Hell yeah. But was that ain't go? Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that, but that's short term. You at long term wise, like if you know that you having a toothache and you come up with some extra money. You do your research, find out, call a dental office around your area. Hey, how much would it cost for this and for that? Yes. So that way you can go and get it done. Because, like I said, once I learned that that oral health can factor in your full body health, like that's when I started, taking. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that, but I dang sure make sure I kind of like.
You take your health serious.
Yeah, take something like that serious, because we don't. Let's be honest. We really don't. We don't take it as serious, and like I said, and then the fact, and that's what makes it even worse. You would think because we don't like, going to doctors and stuff like that we would take care of our bodies better, because that's really
we know what's wrong with our bodies. You know what I'm saying? All we have to do is do the research, get into it. We are already, half of us damn near holistic. Like, we are already got all these home remedies passed down generations. we need to. If you're not,
and we're not saying that they don't work because some of them definitely.
Now look, castor oil. Now I know I ain't swallow that thick ass scoop of castor oil and the cold ain't go away. Now that work. Now you know that thing be so thick, boy.
The same with the Vicks Vapor Rub, man.
With the Hall and the tea, come on.
Yeah.
But no, so we spoke about all the bad things, you know, as far as like the history, the negative, the impact, and psychological stuff, all of these things of why Black people don't go to the doctor. So speaking on solutions, there are a lot of solutions. And the first thing started with self, taking your health seriously, prioritizing yourself. We spoke about, you know, just going to the doctor, you know, doing your research, getting those, you know, talking to those people, getting reviews, and then when you go to the doctor, be clear in detail with what's going on with you. Mm-hmm. That's very, very important because if they see you not taking yourself serious, they're not gonna give a fuck, you know. So
there's nothing wrong with asking a million questions. It's your body.
Yes.
It's your body.
Yeah.
I think and sometimes we just go in there just so we can get it over with. Like,
yeah, you
go in there and be like, no, and yeah. Keep asking questions. Yeah, ask questions, man. If something don't feel right, hey, just do it. Like, cause, like I said, like if you're not showing that you care, like they're
not gonna care.
Nope, they're gonna do just the bare minimum.
They are. You know, as far as like resources, there are resources. As far as like for transgenders, transsexuals, now they are pretty much at the bottom of the totem pole as far as like healthcare, especially in the military, as you know, but. One thing that I did find out is that the women's health, there are several women's health clinics around the country, you know, in different cities and states that will, you know, prescribe medicine, that will do checkups and stuff like that for transsexuals free of charge or a discount price. So that's definitely a solution. And there are also those women's health clinics, they do free testing, STD, you know, HIV, AIDS, all those different things. If you don't even want to book, you don't even have to go to a doctor to see if you're pregnant, if you got a disease or any of those things. And they give away condoms, you know. And it's just like, it's resources, people out there, you know, doulas, especially for women who are getting pregnant. You have those. Going to yoga, they starting to have yoga class for pregnant women, you know, and that's helpful, especially because after you have the baby, deal with postpartum, you know, and, you know, seeking counseling, therapy, stuff like that. Do not do this stuff alone. And I feel like that's
another one that we blow over a lot.
Yeah.
We ignore that a lot. They're dealing with that, and Black women go through that, and they'll go through it for forever and get no help.
Yeah.
And what we'll think is that, they're being, you know,
they're being mean.
Yeah, she tripping, and you know, she just, you know, whatever, and that's what it is. Because just because you had a good pregnancy, and you know, there's some people that go through it, and you're financially good and everything. And
yeah.
They think because you have money or you had a healthy pregnancy and all that stuff that you're not gonna go through it. Sometimes you don't even know why you
going through it. You just going through it. And you're definitely right. That's something definitely overlooked at. And I mean, everybody can't handle it. You know, you see someone, they'll leave that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Leave the whole family. They can't just take it no more. You know, they just need that break. And so they have yoga classes for that.
And that's nothing, like you said, like if they don't get you know, you're not able to go and get the help or recognize, you know, the issue, like, because we'll, you know, ignore it. And like I said, it could be like you could be helping, you could be, you know, you might have your mom there, your auntie there, like they're, you know, helping, and they still feel that way, and you be thinking like, oh, you ungrateful, and and it's just one of those postpartum, just one, like, I had to try to learn, you know, because, you know, it don't necessarily mean that, you know, you doing something wrong. It's just one of those situations where it's just like, it's just something that just happens.
Yeah, you can't do nothing about it. You just gotta let them go through it. The worst thing you can do is walk away or ignore it. Because now, a woman with postpartum and feel neglected, boy, don't even come back in the crib. Don't even call. Just lose the number.
Yeah.
Cause they gonna take your head off. You gonna hear that, and you probably never hear the end of it. You remember that time you left me? Woo-woo. But there's definitely resources out here. Dentists, going to the dentist is definitely like discounted places.
Yeah, I feel like if they have programs and stuff where sometimes, even though it might take a while, that they put out where, you know, you can Google, like just like you on your phone, so you can easily Google like, hey, free dental clinic, free dental.
They do free dental clinic.
Like you know, there's something you'll see. They actually not too far, like in Virginia Beach, Green Run always doing stuff like that, like free. You know, from this time to that time, you're doing, you know, dental. They'll do, you know, different testing, you know, flu shots and stuff, and you know, a lot of people don't take advantage of that, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, if you can't afford it, find any source, because it's better to be looked at than to. And we always worry about, you know, like I said, we always worry about being judged. Like you think, oh, you going to a free clinic, oh, you know, like sometimes, man, you just might be at a bad part of your life right now, and that's what you need in order
to save money. At the end of the day, you don't have to answer nobody.
You know, you pick that day, be like, all right, you know, you got 3 kids, you know, like, hey, let you know, from this day, on this time, we're going there, and everybody's going. We're going to get looked at. We're going to get checked. We got to get a cleaning, get our teeth cleaned, like, you know, like.
But don't become dependent. Once you start going to the doctor, don't become dependent, believing they said this, the dentist said this, they said that. Still do your research, because you only know your body. You know what they put out may not work.
But
for your body.
but at the same time, it's like you don't want to be too much of a, you know, because if that's the case, then it's pretty much saying, well, I'm going to the doctor.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a balance. Yeah. It's just like, you know, still do your research, because like with cancer, I tell anybody that's diagnosed with cancer, get a second, third opinion. Anything that's that could become a terminal illness, do your research. You know what I'm saying?
Especially because you're right, because there could be some situations where they'll tell you it's untreatable, and then you go somewhere and they tell you it's treatable, and you could be good.
Or you be misdiagnosed. I had 2 people in my family that was misdiagnosed, and it's like, what? You know, you told me I had this and that, because every tumor is not a cancerous tumor. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I tell people, like, get that second, third, fourth. If you gotta get a 5th opinion, you know, be certain, because those treatments are not reversible. Yeah.
And there are some insurance. If you gotta go and battle, if you got insurance, you gotta battle with them to say, I want to switch doctors. I want to, you know, do it, man. That's you paying for it.
That's your money.
Yeah. So I mean, if you gotta fight, hey man, I want to try this doctor's office, man. If it says you look up and see that company that you got covers it, you call them and be like, hey, I want to switch to this doctor's office. Even they'll be like, well, no, we can't. Hey, I want to switch it. It says that they're approved. I'm gonna give you that, and then you just be real. Fill out the paperwork you need and
keep it moving.
And you know, just send it out. You know, and if it is a bill. Hey, see, they got payment plans or something, man. You don't want to settle, you know, when it's something that serious. Like, so I get what you're saying. Like, you're right. Like, you definitely want to do your research, but it's better to do research like that where you still fighting to go to the doctor than to just ignore it. You know, like I said, just be like, all right, I'm gonna tell you know I don't even want to go back. I don't even want to go back because I don't want to hear no more bad news and stuff. Cause that's something you hear too.
Yeah, I want to hear that negativity. Yeah, that's the devil time.
Yeah, I ain't gonna let the devil get to me no more.
So yeah, it's definitely solutions. Even with dental work, like when you talk about the free stuff, you know, look, we got home remedies, and I don't care if you call me old, but baking soda. On that, you could judge me. You could judge me. That baking soda, look at these pearly whites. Look at these pearly whites. Alright then, dark skin, pretty white teeth. Alright then.
Most of us have pretty white teeth.
Now everybody's teeth ain't white around this motherfucker, alright? But that baking soda, you know, if you wanna get a little brightening just once a week, Put a little bit of lemon juice in there. It's gonna foam up like acid. Stir that thing in there. Put on your teeth real quick. Brush lightly. Rinse it off once a week. Thank me later. I know. But yes, it is remedies. I'm just saying, till you see that dentist, continue. Hey, flossing. Flossing is very important. That build up yellow, that's a no.
Yeah, if you ain't got a toothbrush or like a pick brush that you could go through there, yeah, you definitely gotta use floss.
You got to. You gotta.
Because man, you go get your cleaning. They will. That's one thing about dental hygienists, man. They will blast you out, man.
Oh, they honest.
And that's my whole. Because that's one thing you don't, and that's why some people don't. Not just going because of doing that, but you don't want to be told that you're doing something wrong. That's the main thing why they don't go to. That's what stubbornness. Like the one thing you don't want to do is being told that you ain't doing something right. Like you ain't doing something right. They tell you ain't living right. Like especially if it's somebody of religion, like high faith, and you tell them that, oh, you ain't doing this right, like, man,
you already know,
man, I got the Lord on my side. Like,
hey, hear it all the time. But yeah, so why black people don't go to church? Go to the doctor. We covered everything. We talked about the history of it, different situations, and we basically gave y'all resources, solutions. So it's up to y'all at this point. Following y'all for it. So we're gonna end that. This is B. Thank you again. Appreciate that.
Always.
Always. I'm Luke, and that's Civil Mindset Podcast.